Hey guys, it's your boy Flameace back here with another video. Today we'll be doing What If Naruto Had an Ancient Dark Doujutsu and an Unknown Tailed Beast, Part 2. Technically it's actually Part 3, but because of Part 0, it's Part 2. So yes. We start our story off a little before Land of Waves era. This would be like more of a, I guess you would say more of like a filler arc, you could say. But we're gonna get into the Land of Waves in this episode. So what happened would be Naruto would actually be kind of. Sorry guys, as I was saying, this would take place before the Land of Waves arc. I want to say just as they're starting to get into their missions. What happens is we would cut to Naruto and Sasuke actually training. Naruto and Sasuke would be training just rigorously. They'd train themselves they were training their jutsu, their chakra control, everything that you could think of, they were just training at that moment. We cut to seeing Tenten come to the Uchiha compound, the main Uchiha compound, where Naruto and Sasuke were. They actually had a training ground. In this training ground, they would be able to train all of their aspects, such as speed, strength, and they could train their chakra control by literally just they could train it themselves, just like. Okay, everyone, I am back. I'm sorry for all the cuts that have been happening recently. It's just because of all the people that are here right now, it's kind of just... Okay, everyone, we are back. Okay, so... yeah. I'm gonna say that Naruto and Sasuke were training at the main Uchiha compound. Okay, I'm back for another time. So, yeah. I'm gonna say Sasuke and Naruto were actually rigorously training at the Uchiha compound. Just training their butts off, just working hard. I'm gonna say Tenten actually came to the Uchiha compound to check on Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke would meet Tenten at the door and welcome her inside. The three would then begin to train in team drills created by Minato and Kushina. So with these team drills, they actually trained as much as they could. Naruto would actually help Tenten with her weapon jutsu. Naruto would he'd have a little experience using chakra control and stuff like that. And yeah, Tenten's weapon jutsu I think would be similar to chakra control, kind of, because they both rely heavily on chakra to command the weapons. So yeah. And something that I've been hiding from you guys up until now is that Tenten will be an Uzumaki. So yeah, just imagine this picture with red hair. So yes, Tenten will be an Uzumaki, being very strong. Well, not very strong, but yeah, she'd be an Uzumaki, so she'd be, she wouldn't really try to use any seals yet. Well, maybe a few seals on weapons, but she wouldn't really try to do anything major with the seals. So yeah. Naruto would actually, train Tenten and, teach her how to use the Kyuubi's chakra better. I'm gonna say that Naruto, out of 100 tails, Naruto was able to go up to a 3 tails cloak. And remember, this is like super strong. So yeah, this would probably be stronger than the 9 tails, 3 tails cloak. If that makes sense at all. It'd be probably stronger than that. So yeah. So Naruto would actually teach Tenten how to use the Jubi's chakra. Tenten would actually develop a partial, not fully developed kind of two tails chakra, zero tail cloak. It'd just be the two tails chakra with zero tails coming. Basically, kind of like Naruto did. So yeah. But this would be incomplete, so it wouldn't be perfect, but she'd get the fundamentals down and be able to activate it 3 times out of 10. So, yeah. Naruto and Tenten would train together very often, both honing each other's skills. Tenten would actually help Naruto with his, I guess you could say, chakra control, because Uzumakis have a decent amount of chakra, so I assume that they'd be pretty good at chakra. They have a lot of chakra, so I'm assuming Uzumakis would be good at chakra control. You'd have to have a very good amount of chakra control power to actually kind of like chakra control to control your chakra. So, yeah, with all this chakra control, she would actually help Naruto control his chakra. I mean, Naruto would be able to control his chakra just fine, but she was basically teaching Naruto how to control his chakra for longer. I'm gonna say that Tenten helped Naruto at first, but Naruto started getting the hang of it. So now Naruto can perform a weak state of chakra control when he's unconscious. Although it's very weak chakra control, he could still perform chakra control when he's unconscious. So yeah, once he gets older, he'll probably be able to do it like very strongly while unconscious. So yeah, he'd be able to basically just protect himself in his sleep or control his chakra in his sleep. I'm gonna say that in this. And hello everyone, I am back. Okay, but yes, I'm gonna have to edit all those things out. So yes, I am back, and I would say Tenten would help Naruto with his chakra control, because Naruto, he would have decent chakra control at first, but Tenten would have very great chakra control. I'd say she'd have high tuning chakra control, or low jonin or high tuning. So yeah. So her chakra control would be pretty good. Naruto would only know, I want to say, high genin chakra control. But after this, Naruto would be at the same level as Tenten, so low tuning chakra control, I want to say. I mean high tuning chakra control. So with all this chakra control, Naruto would become stronger. He'd be able to control more of his chakra. Because Naruto can control some of his chakra, but sometimes he just kind of let his chakra run loose. Sometimes on accident. So yeah, with all this, Naruto would be stronger and faster, yada yada, because of the training. But Naruto would actually help Tenten in another aspect. Naruto would actually help Tenten improve on her weapons jutsu. Because Naruto would actually know a few things about ninja weapons because of his training. I'm gonna say that Naruto actually teach Tenten very, very I want to say strongly. So Tenten would have very strong it'd be stronger than it was in canon weapon jutsu. Okay, so now we cut to we go to the to them just chilling. Naruto would actually be reading a book about ninjutsu. Tenten would poke into the book and see what Naruto was reading. Naruto was reading a book about like just jutsu. But this wasn't any book. Naruto. This was a book given to Naruto by Minato. This contained a lot of Minato's ninjutsu. Because Minato already taught Naruto the Rasengan. That's how Naruto would know it. So yeah. This would be stronger. So yeah, so it had a lot of more Minato's doujutsu. It had more than just one. So what would happen would be Minato would just have the doujutsu. I mean, not dojutsu, I'm acting silly. But Minato would have a lot of jutsu written down for Naruto. This was for Naruto. This was Naruto's basically celebration for getting on Team 7. So yeah, they kind of celebrated Mini, and Minato gave Naruto a scroll of some jutsu. Well, book of some jutsu. This book would create something this would have something that Naruto wouldn't actually just think of. What would happen would be this scroll. Okay, guys, I'm back. So sorry for all the cuts and everything, but it's kind of not the best situation over here because of all the people and all the talking, but I still gotta deliver a video. So yes, like I was saying. What was I saying again? I'm just kidding. I know what I'm saying, and okay, yeah. So we left off with Naruto teaching Tenten some stuff and Tenten teaching Naruto some stuff. So Naruto and Tenten would actually go on missions frequently. So would Sasuke. With everything happening, the missions would be all out balanced and they get a ton done. Because Sasuke having trained more and being more serious and just training more would be stronger. And Tenten would be on Team 7, so she would be stronger too. So with everything, yeah, we'd have a stronger Team 7 than in canon, because Naruto would of course be stronger, being half Otsutsuki, half Astral. So Naruto would actually hold back a lot in his missions, having to perform chakra control. He'd basically have to divide his power by, I want to say, 40. He'd have to divide his overall power by 40. And the sum is, that's the usual power he'd use for his missions, for C-rank missions. Eventually, Sasuke, and Naruto got a little bored. So Naruto actually went up to Minato and said, "Father, can we do more?" He would tell Minato and say, "Just, Father, can we do?" Sorry, but if he would just go up to Minato and say, "Father, can we do some can we move up into a C rank mission?" Naruto and Sasuke would both be talking about this. Tenten would just be disappointed in the background. They really can't wait and just wait until they're able to be on to get C rank missions. They're probably just gonna get denied by the 4th. Surprisingly, Minato said yes, making Tenten do that thing where they basically fall and their legs go up. You know, probably don't, but yeah. After that, Tenten and them would be assigned to the mission. They would wait for about 1 hour, getting kind of pissed. So, yeah. Finally, Tazuna would walk through the door. Tazuna would be drunk and say, "Where are my bodyguards?" And he'd literally say bodyguards. So yeah, the fourth Hokage would say them. Tazuna would actually say, "I don't think these little pipsqueaks can protect me." Naruto and Sasuke would be like, "Slow down. What even is the mission?" Minato would say, "Oh, I forgot to say. Your mission is to bodyguard Mr. Tazuna so he can make a bridge." What would happen would be Naruto and Sasuke would actually, they would be like, "Okay." Tenten would be like, "Okay." She wouldn't be like that bummed out. She'd actually be just like kind of happy that she got a new mission. So after this, they kind of just like before this, they actually saw Kakashi, and Kakashi was in the building, and Kakashi was like, all right, Sensei, Minato Sensei, I will teach my students the way of how to escort someone. Minato would say, "Kakashi, of course you probably know how to escort someone, but you probably just made that off the top of your head and you're not going to teach them jack diddly squat." Kakashi would be like, "Sensei, how did you figure me out so well?" Minato would then say, "I literally trained you, remember?" With both of them laughing. So after this, they kind of just, they basically just go with Tazuna. So back with Tazuna, they were escorting him, and yeah, I'm gonna say that while they were walking by, once they started their mission and they got out the leaf, and they saw a puddle. Naruto and Sasuke would figure it out. Tenten would be suspicious, but wouldn't figure it out at first. Actually, I'm gonna say that Naruto and Tenten figured it out first. Sasuke would be suspicious, but wouldn't figure it out first. So would Kakashi, but he'd give them an eye signal to not just don't talk about it. So yeah. What happened was Naruto would actually be very on guard. Once they started walking, they heard a voice say, "Hand over the loot and the guy, and you might not be dead, and we may spare you." It was the two demon brothers. Naruto would just glance in their direction. Naruto would instantly blitz behind them, kicking one demon. He basically jumped into a tree where the demon brothers were hiding. He would kick one demon brother, sending him flying. Then, without even moving from the air, without even falling down, he would kick the second demon brother. So yeah, Naruto would instantly take them out. Well, not take them out, but he'd badly damage them. The two demon brothers would be like, "What is this kid? Is he a chunin? Maybe even a jonin?" Naruto would then say, after landing on the branch of the tree, after they fell off and were scared, would say, I'm not chunin, nor jonin. I'm just the normal genin." "Hey Sasuke, let's try our new formation on them." Sasuke would be like, "That's overdue." don't we always overdo things? Sasuke would just quickly run up to them, kick both of the demon brothers in the air. Remember, they just kind of fell and they were hurt a little bit. So they thought Naruto was like just on their level and that he wasn't that far from them. So yeah, they were pretty fine and they were ready to attack again. Sasuke would run up to them, blitz. He'd basically punched both of them into the air. Naruto would basically, he'd basically coat some chakra. He'd basically coat what looked like chakra on himself. This chakra wasn't blue. This chakra, to a few people like Kakashi, I'm going to say that the Uzumaki could actually see chakra, but it was very rare. So Tenten would be able to see she'd be able to see small chakra when it would be exerted in big amounts. So Sasuke would activate his 3 Tomoe, and he would basically see what they were doing. He'd basically see all the chakra, and he'd start blitzing them from kicking them up in the air. And what happened would be Naruto would coat himself in what looks to be a black chakra. Naruto would then speed up to them just in the middle of the air. He'd start just kicking them and kicking them. He'd basically just continue fighting non-stop. And Sasuke would eventually jump up, and they'd kind of be in a sandwich type thing. What would happen would be Naruto would basically coat himself and Sasuke in a dense dark chakra. This dark chakra wouldn't be aimed towards Sasuke because Naruto would actually make it pacifist to Sasuke so it wouldn't hurt him. But it burned the demon brothers very badly if it touched them. So Naruto and Sasuke, because of Naruto controlling the black chakra, he'd be able to basically just maneuver himself. It wouldn't be flying, it'd more like being just like flinging himself through the air, making himself move through the air. It'd be like Naruto was a puppet, but Naruto was his own master at the same time. And if a puppet is its own master, then it can move without strings and dangle without strings and move. So yeah, Naruto would be able to command the black chakra, just moving him through the air, creating what looked like flight. Naruto would say, Tenten, come on, this formation relies on you too. Tenten would say, whatever. Tenten would say, okay, whatever. And then Tenten would run up and start sandwiching them in the air too with the power. So what happened with the energy? So what would happen next is that Tenten would basically summon a weapon jutsu, basically just throwing thousands of kunai, what looked like thousands of kunai up in the air. Naruto would basically just kind of like, he'd create basically truth-seeking Rasengans, what it looked to be, because I'm going to say that when you mix dark chakra with a Rasengan, it creates a truth-seeking Rasengan. This Rasengan would be manipulatable, and also this Rasengan would actually be very strong, and I'm going to say that Naruto had enough willpower to control Naruto had enough power to control 2 Rasengans at the same time. So what Naruto did was he poured all of his chakra into these 2 Rasengans. Sasuke looked like he was about to charge up. Okay, I'm back. So Tenten would throw what looks like to be thousands of kunai up into the air. Naruto would create 2 black Rasengans. It wouldn't be purple like the tailed beast Rasengan. As I was saying, this wouldn't be purple like the tailed beast Rasengan. It would be a pure black. Naruto would create 2 of them, basically just merging them in one ball into his left hand. Naruto would then take Rasari's chakra and spit it into a ball on his left hand, into a Rasengan in his left hand, creating the tailed beast Rasengan. It'd basically just be a tailed beast Rasen Shuriken, but without the Shuriken parts coming out. He'd basically he'd basically take this tailed beast bomb ball, and Rasori would say, "Do it!" So Naruto would combine the the big truth-seeking Rasengan with the tailed beast Rasengan, creating a mostly black Rasengan with a big purple diamond pattern in the middle. It would just be a diamond pattern. It wouldn't come out. It'd just be like curved onto the ball. This ball would be fully controllable, being very powerful. What Sasuke would do was, Sasuke would do a few hand signs and say, and basically he'd basically put his hand up to his mouth, and then he'd basically dish out all the fire chakra he could into his hand, creating a Ridori. What happened would be Sasuke would actually he would basically, after he created this Ridori, just pump it full of chakra until it became just I'm gonna say he just pump it full of chakra till it became a red flame. It wouldn't be orange, it'd be all red, looking like the red on a Sharingan. This would be Sasuke's premature Amaterasu. It'd be basically a weaker version. They wouldn't really hurt Sasuke's vision, but it wouldn't be as strong as a real Amaterasu. So yeah. So this premature Amaterasu would basically just become a red Ridori. It'd be in the shape of a Chidori, but it'd be red, so I'd call it Ridori. A fire Chidori. So yeah, Sasuke would actually just dish as much chakra he could into this, making it bigger and bigger. Almost as big as Naruto's ball. Keep in mind, they landed on the ground after this. Tenten would actually, I'm gonna say that Tenten unlocked, very weak golden chakra chains. And she'd basically sink the chakra of the golden chakra chains into the weapons, creating golden weapons. She would then yell out, "Matabi!" In Matabi, the two tails would enrich them with fire chakra, making them even stronger. So yeah. Naruto would yell, "Rasori!" This is Rasori. And Rasori would basically just pump the thing with more chakra. Sasuke would yell out, "Sharingan!" And Sasuke would then basically just activate the Sharingan, making it more powerful. So after this, Naruto and Sasuke would then they'd basically just run up, and Sasuke would just jam his Ridori into both of them. Naruto would come back from the other side with his tailed beast truth-seeking Rasengan. And remember, this is controllable, so Naruto would stand from afar, just waving it back and forth, just striking the enemy right next to Sasuke's Ridori. So Sasuke would backflip back with his Ridori still staying there. Sasuke would actually control his Ridori, which would be powerful. But what they do after that is that Naruto would create he'd create another Rasengan. He'd create two Rasengans, putting them up in the air, then making two more Rasengans, they were just floating in the air, and then he basically threw them into the ore, making it bigger. Sasuke would use a phoenix flower jutsu into his attack, making it even bigger. Tenten would unleash her attack. She'd basically make those million kunai in the shape of just one giant kunai. So then she'd basically this kunai would be about 2 times the size of Tenten. And it'd have a regular kunai holster, but the blade would be way bigger and it'd be gold with fire coming off of it. So Tenten would chuck it with a blue trail of fire coming after it. Naruto would basically it'd be like a 3-way all-out attack, completely vaporizing the demon brothers. Kakashi would be surprised and happy for them, but he'd say, "Hello, you actually..." Well, he wouldn't say hello, but he said, "Naruto, Sasuke, Tamari, you did very good, but there's one thing I want to tell you. We could have interrogated them!" Basically slapping Naruto and Sasuke in the head with those anime bumps you see coming off of them. But then Naruto would say, But when we first met him, I put him in a genjutsu, so I know everything. Kakashi would be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know that." And then Kakashi would say, "Sorry, Naruto. How about we make it up with me buying you some ramen?" Naruto would be like, "That's A-okay, I forgive you." So yeah. Kakashi actually asked Naruto for the information that he got off them. And yeah, this is Naruto. So he'd ask for the information, and Naruto would say, they were hired by this guy named... I wasn't able to get that far into their minds because they were trying to kill us. But I figured out that they were hired by a guy named Gapto, who hired them to kill Tazuna. So yeah, this would just be crazy. Well, not crazy, but Kakashi and them would actually do some. Sasuke would say he heard about Gapto before and how he's a businessman type of guy who hires mercenaries to kill people, and yeah. So yeah, they would continue walking with Tazuna. Tazuna would be just surprised at these kids' power. And what happened was, Naruto, Sasuke, Tenten, Tazuna, and Kakashi would be walking. So eventually they'd get to a tree. So what happened was a sword would come. Kakashi would actually never fake die. So a sword would come. Kakashi would notice this, but would play the tactic that he used in the first part where Kakashi did die. So yeah, he'd get stabbed by the sword. His clone would be stabbed by the sword and he would die. This would cause Sasuke to unlock his Mangekyo Sharingan. So after this happened, Sasuke would be angry, and Naruto would grab the sword with a blank look on his face. he'd shatter the sword and tears would just come down from his eyes. He'd say, "You killed my sensei! I will make you pay!" Running up to Zabuza, trying to just aimlessly punch him, going crazy. And Naruto would unlock his darkness doujutsu once again. Actually, no. He'd unlock his Mangekyo. I'm gonna say Naruto's Mangekyo abilities would be similar to a mix of Sasuke and It'd be similar to a mix of Sasuke's abilities, and Madara's abilities stacked on top of Obito's. So what happened would be Madara would be able to make limbo clones, which were in another dimension. Naruto would actually be able to make limbo clones as well, but there's one last thing that I forgot to tell you that's different from Madara's. I'm gonna say that the limbo clones actually exist on the plane of. These limbo clones actually exist on the plane of Kamui. So the only way you get to fight or find the limbo clones and actually see them is if you went inside a Kamui. And say the user of Kamui actually made real life clones. If Naruto made real life clones that everyone else could see, they'd be limbo clones to the person if they were in Kamui. And limbo clones would actually be, you'd be able to see the limbo clones in Kamui. So yeah. But one thing is that Naruto is able to make himself a limbo clone. He wouldn't be able to make himself a limbo clone in the Kamui dimension, but in the real world, he'd be able to make himself a limbo clone. I'm gonna say this, that Naruto wouldn't see through the Kamui, but this would be hard to explain, because Naruto would actually he basically pumped chakra into both things. He basically pumped chakra into his body, so he'd be able to switch between seeing in the Kamui dimension or seeing in the real dimension. Naruto would actually be able to make himself intangible like Obito was. But he'd have to have some training to really get it to be going for a long time. So yeah. So, Naruto would actually make himself a limbo-like state. So Naruto would be a limbo clone himself, but he wouldn't disperse any chakra. All of his attacks and abilities would be invisible to the naked eye. So yeah, Naruto would be stronger. And I'm gonna say that Naruto would have the ability to cast Kamui upon other people, and yeah, such and such. So yeah, Naruto would actually just fight. He'd basically make himself a limbo clone with his Mangekyo Sharingan. He'd make himself a limbo person. But that's not it. Naruto's Mangekyo Sharingan abilities aren't ending there. If anything is in a 15-minute radius, Naruto can stop it from aging. Like, he could basically just stop it from moving. Well, if anything is in a 10-kilometer radius, he could stop it from moving entirely. If it's in a 30-kilometer radius, he could just if it's in a 30-kilometer radius, he could basically just slow it down tremendously. When it in a 60-kilometer radius, it basically just stops. But this is not able to be choose, so you stop everything in that time zone or area. You can't stop just one thing with the ability. I mean, Naruto would actually be able to probably gain the ability to do that, but that's not the way I want the story to go right now. So, yeah. They would be walking and you would see the Mangekyo Sharingan in Naruto's eyes. Naruto was angry. Sasuke would unlock his Mangekyo as well, just seeing the fake death of Kakashi. They would be angry, fighting Kakashi to the limit. I mean, they'd be angry fighting. Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kakashi didn't fake his death in the first part. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to say Kakashi faked his death in this part. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. My brain's just messed up today, guys. So, yeah. This would cause Naruto and Sasuke to unlock their Mangekyo Sharingans, like I said. And they would start blitzing Zabuza. Zabuza would say, "What? How do these kids have the Mangekyo Sharingan?" I'm going to say that Zabuza would know what the Mangekyo Sharingan is, because he'd do some research instead of in the original when he was a dumb butt. So he knew what the normal Sharingan was, but not the Mangekyo. So yeah. They would blitz Zabuza. Zabuza barely keeping up. Tenten would unlock fully matured chakra chains. Naruto would say, "We gotta finish this quick, because he'll have the upper hand if we don't." So Naruto would yell, "Let's go! Formation 5!" Sasuke would say, "Formation 5? We haven't even really performed that yet. We've just thought of it, and it requires us to use our full strengths, which we've just unlocked. So I don't think we'll be able to do it. Well, we gotta try." Naruto would basically just he'd throw in all the chakra that he had into just one Rasengan. And then he'd basically just put that Rasengan in front of him, hovering. Naruto would gather up all the Biju chakra from Rasuri he could in one hand, all the dark chakra that he could in one hand, and from his mouth, Naruto was actually spitting out an electrical orb. Like, it was like an electrical Rasengan. Naruto would actually have experience with an electrical Rasengan. I'm not saying it'd be a Chidori, which is, a Chidori is a different move from the Rasengan. I'm just gonna say this is an electricity-infused Rasengan. It'd be more refined than a Chidori, is what I'm saying. It wouldn't be all rampant and wild. So it's basically an evolved form of the Chidori, where it goes back to being part of a Rasengan. So, yeah. This would make it stronger in turn. So yeah. So Naruto basically spit out an electricity infused Rasengan. Remember, it's not the Chidori, refined Chidori. So it'd be an electricity infused Rasengan from his mouth. So basically, he'd start pumping all of the dark chakra and dark chakra, tailed beast chakra he could into the hovering Rasengan. This was a giant Rasengan. So yeah, he'd put all the dark chakra in it while just pumping electricity from his mouth into it. So yeah. this would create a very strong ball, which it'd basically be like a giant black lightning Chidori with, well, imagine a giant purple a giant black Rasengan with the purple Chidori lightning circling it. It just basically be circling it very fast, and there are like a few spots where you could peek through and see it. So Naruto would actually gather up all this chakra, and yeah, he'd basically confine it to one small tiny ball. It was basically the size of a normal Rasengan. This would be very powerful. I'm gonna say this is this would be Nine-Tails Sage Mode Hokage Naruto base strong, and this would be like I want to say this would be beginning Sasuke level. Naruto was done with his attack. Sasuke would basically just create a Ridori, but this would be way stronger. This Ridori wouldn't be just a normal Ridori. This Ridori would be infused with some electrical chakra, creating a Chidori, or no, Chirori. This will create a Chiori sounds cool. So this will create a Chiori. So yeah, this would be very strong. Naruto and Sasuke would actually be right next to each other. They'd put the arm that they were using their attack in next to each other, creating a small little kindle, basically like a very small electrical pattern going between the two. It eventually grew until they let go, and it created a giant ball. They both grabbed onto this giant energy ball, which I will dub the truth-seeking. This would create what they called the truth-seeking chaotic Radorigan. This would be very powerful. And this would be this would be basically the beginning of Boruto, Sasuke's power level, all of his power, mixed with, I want to say, mid to beginning to mid-level, Naruto, with all of, Tailed Sage Mode. And yeah, remember they would both have their, Mangekyo Sharingans. And Naruto would actually, he'd be in his, I'd say Naruto would be in a 10 Tails cloak because of all the rage he was in. So Naruto would just be barely conscious and barely able to talk, being just filled with rage. So basically, Tenten would, she'd perform a weapon jutsu where, she'd basically, she'd make golden kunai, and, she'd basically make these golden kunai which had chains attached to the kunai rings. So basically, Tenten would actually basically just she'd basically throw 10 golden kunais with chains into the ball. Then I'm gonna say that they were the chains were attached to the kunai rings, and became a smaller ring that Tenten would have put around her fingers. She'd basically throw all of them in there. This would be similar to Kurapika's ability. Well, Kurapika and his chains. She'd basically throw all of them in there, just dispersing the chakra, making it even bigger, and become just even stronger. So what they would do after this is they would, this would make the ball turn bigger, and it basically just make it be even stronger. So yeah, after this would happen, this would basically just make the ball bigger, and Naruto and Sasuke would basically run up to Zabuza, just slamming this into Zabuza. This would almost instantly disintegrate Zabuza if it hit him, but Haku pushed Zabuza out the way. Zabuza would be like, that little runt. I can't believe he tried to help me with him knowing he'd die. I don't care about him, so it's not even that bad. Naruto would actually get even angrier, sprouting an extra 10 tails, and his Sharingan becoming even more dark. I mean, more like redder. And Sasuke would get even angrier, using more. So basically, what they do is that, what would happen would be the chakra chains from the thing actually just came out of the, I am sorry, but yeah. Tenten would actually disperse the chakra chains from the act. Okay, I am back. But what I was saying is, Tenten would actually disperse the kunai, the golden kunai with the chains connecting to the little small rings back onto her hands, and Tenten would actually have a very tough time. But basically, these kunai would still be attached to the ball, kind of, and be inside the ball. Okay, guys, I'm back. So basically, Tenten would actually disperse the chakra chains with the kunai and the rings, basically bringing them back to her fingers. Tenten would actually basically swing the ball, because the ball went flying. She'd swing the ball around, with Naruto and Sasuke jumping up to the ball, pumping more chakra into it, and she'd basically throw the chains back into the ball so it'd be still strong. So basically it'd be even stronger and disperse the chakra again. I'm gonna say that she'd be able to reform the chakra inside the ball because of the energy. So Naruto and Sasuke would once again actually run towards Zabuza. And this time they actually ran up and just basically pushed it into him. Basically, well, sorry I'm saying basically so much, but after they just lunged it into him, Zabuza would actually drop his sword. So yeah. What would happen would be, after they did this, Naruto and Sasuke actually panicked because they couldn't disperse all the energy evenly. So, and Zabuza dropped his sword. So, yeah, if they disperse this would cause major damage. So basically, what Tenten decided to do was she actually helped them seal all the energy from that attack into the ball. Of course, it'd take about 3 hours for Naruto and Sasuke to regain their chakra fully. But yeah, this sword would become very big. Basically, the sword would have basically a kunai holster and a kunai ring, but it'd be like a one-edged giant sword. If you know who Cloud Strife is, it'd basically just be Cloud Strife with a kunai handle as a handle. Cloud Strife's sword, the Buster Sword, as a kunai handle without the holes in it. With a kunai handle as a handle. Maybe a little longer than a kunai handle, but it had a ring, so it was basically a kunai handle, yes. So yeah, they would basically seal it into the sword, making this sword very powerful. Naruto and Sasuke told Tenten that they should keep it, but Tenten said that she wouldn't be able to control all that power, and that the most skilled person there on the team was Naruto, so Naruto should have it. And Naruto actually once told Tenten, we cut to a flashback, Naruto would tell Tenten, you're really good at weapon control. And you're really good at controlling weapons and using them. I'm only good at swordplay. So Tenten would say, do you want me to train you how to use a sword? Yeah, what kind of sword do you want? I want more of a giant sword that would basically have a lot of time balancing it. They would be very strong. So yeah, with all this energy, yeah. So then we cut back to where they were, and Tenten would say, so Naruto, you want the sword? Naruto said yes, but we cut to Kakashi coming. Kakashi would say, wow, you kids worked it a lot. Naruto instantly deactivating his Mangekyo Sharingan. So would Sasuke would say, Kakashi, how are you alive? Kakashi would say, oh, I faked my death. So you guys could go all out and so I could sneak up and kill Zabuza. But it looks like you guys got to the job before me. Naruto would say, sure we did. So Kakashi, before Naruto got to finish that sentence, Naruto actually passed out. Naruto would basically fall on the ground passing out because of all the chakra and energy he exerted. Sasuke would actually fall to the ground but wouldn't pass out. He was still conscious because Sasuke exerted some energy too. Tenten would start breathing heavily and be weakened but would not fall over or be unconscious. She just she just used a little too much chakra. Well, she just used a lot of her chakra is all, and she kind of hurt herself a little bit, but not that bad. So yeah, with all this, Kakashi would actually take all three of them to the doctor. So yeah. All three of them would be very strong and yada 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 blah 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 blah. But in all jokes to be serious, they all went to the doctor. So this will conclude the Land of Waves arc. Well, except for the water tower, but they wouldn't really have the water tower fight because Naruto and Sasuke would actually they'd basically, what they do is they go up to the top of the tower thing, and instead of doing that thing where they actually just fight and they disperse their stuff and yeah, blah 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 blah, what would happen would be Naruto would actually say, Sasuke, we want to celebrate like we did a few years back. Sasuke would say, okay, just one last time. Sasuke and Naruto would actually pump a good amount of chakra in this. Not enough to actually make them unconscious like the first blast, but it was pretty strong. They'd basically send it up in the air, and then it'd explode. This was something that Naruto and Sasuke would do every year. But, Kakashi was actually there saying, what are you going to do? Naruto and Sasuke would say, you'll see. So after this, Naruto and Sasuke would do they would create like a ball of energy. I'm not going to dub it or name it. They'd shoot it off in the air and explode it. It looked like a firework. This would actually make Sasuke, this would actually intrigue Tamari. Not Tamari, Tenten. Why did I call Tenten Tamari? That's dumb. So yeah, this would intrigue Tenten and say, I love fireworks. Naruto and Sasuke would say, we do too. And this will include our third part 2 of What If Naruto Had an Ancient Dark Doujutsu and an Unknown Tailed Beast. So, I want you guys to like. Well, you don't have to like and you don't have to subscribe, but I want you to comment. Just tell me if you have any what if ideas to make the what if better, or any just what ifs in general. So comment down below. And just thanks for coming to the channel and watching this. You had the time to go to anywhere else, but you decided to watch my video. Thanks. So yeah, this is Flame Ace. Make sure to geek out. Let's make sure to have a daily dosage of geek and anime, because that's what we do over here. Flame Ace is out. Oh, and yes, I made this video 1 hour long for you guys. But yes, Flame Ace is out to boo. I can't do it in 2 days. 50. Oh. I can't do it in today's video, but tomorrow I will do it. Bro, come on, we'll do it, bro. Ooh, I forgot I was recording. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this out.